Okay, so after that little glitch in Max, which happens from time to time, I'm going to continue. I'm going to put it back on fast forward, and I'm going to shape this route where we left off. Okay, so this is the second one. Don't worry about it too much. We're going to start shaping it a bit more in a minute using the. If you remember, we used the freeform tools before. But if you look at the first one, you can see the base is wibbly wobbly in and out like this. So we're going to do a bit of that. I like my special terminology. And for this, we're going to use soft selection. So if you turn on soft selection to do this, and then modify the fall off. Pull it down, 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 down. To around there, like so. Just to give it some shape. Like this. This makes it a lot more interesting. Let's just pull it down a little bit more. So it just affects the. Yeah, that's better. So let's just do that. I'll do this a bit more. You carry on and do it too to your tree, and I'll put it on fast forward. Okay, so we can do some, like I did some much shorter sort of stumps or roots, if you like. We could do a couple of humps, just so it's slightly different to this one. You have some bulging sort of roots. Like if we do, we don't need to use a spline for this. We can just extrude by hand. Back on modeling, extrude. And we just start shaping it ourselves. I like the because it's nature. I like the sort of roughness of it, if you like. The polygons everywhere, a bit messy. It gives it a bit more character. In this situation, I wouldn't normally do geometry so rough as this, but because of the nature of the tree, because it's a tree, it kind of makes it a bit more interesting, a bit rough and ready. Yeah, just like a little extra bulge there. We can texture that up. Let's just take that down. interesting. When it's sunk in the ground, you know, if we do a plane, this will sink into the ground. Let's change the colour of that because it's way too bright. Yeah, remember our terrain is wobbly, so we'll have a lot of it sort of sunking. So it'll look a bit like that, and there'll be a bit of it underground, so you won't see the harsh edges. And then you'll have grass and plants all around as well. You know, you can even pull this around a bit if you want, just to get a feeling of what it's going to be like. Yeah, it'll be. You know, so I'm going to leave the base like that because that's fine for me. If you want to do more, and you know, continue with it. I will get rid of these lines. We don't need these lines anymore, so you can delete them. Line 1, line 2. So I'm going to move up the tree and start working on up here. So I'm going to fix this first because this is not good. Just going to pull this out so that it's so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build a branch coming out the side here, because at the moment it's very two-dimensional. It's like there's nothing coming out this way. It's all like that. So what I might do is build one just up here, so it goes up and out. On this side perhaps, yeah, let's do this side. That looks a lot more viable. Okay, so just watch me do this on fast forward. So if you get the shape, it can be quite successful quite quickly. There's very little needs to be done to this to get a good shape on this. I'll just expand that out. I mean, these trees do lend themselves to sort of sculpting quite well. So you could take it into a sculpting package and just sculpt it basically, and then bake out any normal maps and ambient occlusion maps, and you know, use a much lower poly version of it if you wanted to. But that's another technique, and I'll probably cover that in another course actually, which I'm planning at the moment. Just smooth that so it blends in nicely. go. I might do the same on this side, just so we got something. Then we'll do some smaller ones, and yeah, a bit more work down here. Smooth it all out, and maybe put like a nodule like we did for that one on the side. That shape looks a bit thicker up there than it is down here, so we might have to do something about that. You know, for this is where soft selection comes in really handy. Yeah, I am a bit of a sculptor. I do like to sculpt, so it's you know, it's my tree, it's my shape, sort of thing. I know the work's gone into it, and it's much better rather than using a package. There's nothing wrong with using you know, a package. It's a lot quicker, I think, generally, but it's just a bit too, you know, if everybody used packages, and all trees and plants will look the same. So just sort of cleaning it up, tidying it all up as I go along. Do another loop around there, actually. Maybe not, it doesn't necessarily need it. Okay, so let's have a look at our reference, actually. Yeah, see, these branches are absolutely enormously long on oak trees. How they stay up, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Do some of these smaller branches like this in a second. Yes, that's cool. Okay, let's carry on. Let's do another branch. I feel like it needs to do another branch coming out here. See, that is a good spot for a branch. Let's do a soft selection and shape it, because it was much more successful once it was shaped. Fantastic. That was almost perfect. Fast go. So once you get the hang of this, you know, once you get the hang of the techniques used, you can create some pretty cool stuff fairly quickly. Oh, look at that. I quite like that. Pretty gnarly and quite an aggressive looking tree, which is cool. That's better. So I can get much more around a sort of shape on that with the canopy. If I do some smaller branch, maybe do another one out here, just to capture that, and then some smaller ones up here. I'm going to show you how to also attach these using a similar technique now, and then I'm going to go ahead and just finish it up. I want you to do the same, just use the same techniques as I've just showed you to add more or less to whatever whatever you want with your trees. I will be giving you these trees anyway, so you can use them in your scene, but you should definitely have a go at creating your own trees for sure, because it's quite a good experience. And I want to see them. I'd like to see your trees. Send me some, post some renders so we can all have a look and see what they look like. Okay, to create these smaller ones, you just use the same technique as we just did with the bigger branches. So you go off, create some smaller branches coming off these using the same technique, and I'll do the same. I'll put it on super fast forward, and I'll see you in a moment. Yeah, it's looking more like a rounded tree. Looking cool. A more rounded tree, more fuller. When you just got to remember where the canopy's going to go. So if you've got a big bunch here and you've got a big bunch up there, you're going to have a bit of a gap here. So you might want to just pull out sort of a branch out here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.